a lot of times the youth pastor has 2 hours to undo what the other 166 has been done by either the family, the school, the culture, whatever.
And that's why you need experiences with God.
They're a generation that matters, right?
Yeah.
And we have to put them at the forefront of our churches, or else our churches are not going to grow, right? Like that has to be one of our top priorities. And yes, it's messy.
I think we think youth want everything to be cool, right? And when adults are interested in spending time with youth, like junior highs, they recognize it and they think that's awesome.
What's it like to be a millennial that enjoys using their phone?
You know what? Phone calls and voice memos, guys. That's where it's at.
You can just be you
and just
old,
show that you care
weird
about them.
boomer, and if you care, they're happy.
100%.
If you invest time in them, they're happy.
It's all in your head.
There's a lot in my head.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
See, that's the most concerning thing about me, is that we think so much alike.
But
I'm concerned for what's in her head, and so I'm like, oh, is that in my head?
There have been moments where I feel like you've caught my disease, and then you've
caught my disease,
and then you've like recovered, and then you've caught it again and recovered.
Oh, this is the power of influence, right? When you spend a lot of time with people,
then you start thinking you're dying too.
You're either healed by the relationship or destroyed by the relationship.
Go down together.
Yeah, sometimes it's
what
like
not
a
to be like, and then
effect.
all of a sudden you get sucked in.
You're just on a teeter-totter of emotion.
Yeah.
That's
anyway,
so good.
It's like the one at camp that just shreds your children.
What?
That teeter-totter.
Oh, I was like, we need context. Oh, yeah, when your little guy got hurt on last time.
Yeah, I think everyone's been hurt on that. Like, that has been around since I was a kid. That teeter-totter.
Okay, there is some, like, playground things that just need to disappear because they are terrible. Some that need to disappear because they're super dangerous, but there's some that need to make a comeback because there was some amazing playground things that I'm sure are banned for safety from when I was a kid.
Like the miracle.
We both did the exact same thing.
They have that though.
It's like gone now.
It's gone.
They got rid of the old park.
Not the new style plastic ones. I'm talking like the steel.
Yes.
With the bars.
They had one in Grafton up to last year.
Yeah, they just took out the old century-old playground. They had built a new one on the other side of the park.
Yeah.
And they left the old one up, and we went to it probably 2 years ago, I think, and it was still there, but it's gone.
Like, I remember, do you guys remember the wooden park in South Oshawa? Were you around? Were you in Oshawa at that time?
No, but we have a wooden park at Lakeshore.
No, but so down at the waterfront where the new big park and splash pad is, they used to have this old, like, huge wooden park. And you'd just get splinters, you get everything.
Wooden park on everything.
It was
They have one in Coburg, too. Like, that's a wooden one, too. It's like a pirate ship.
But I laugh, though, because they've gotten rid of so many things due to safety. But now with baseball, I don't know if you find this. We go to a lot of new parks now. Like, I've just discovered there's so many more playgrounds in, like, the Port Hope, Coburg area that we never built. But they're, like, new structure playgrounds that are like terrifying. Like
they're so high, and there's not like an easy path up.
Like so rock climbing wall. That's the only way to get up, and it's literally like this angle. And I'm like, who designed this?
And then
like,
parents can't just sit.
No,
you have to be helping your children up, and
we were there.
It's not worth
Monday night, and there was not even it wasn't even my own kid, and the parents were on the other side, and this kid's just literally hanging off the top of that rock wall, and it was so high, and I'm like sitting, like I'm just standing there, I'm like, please I was so concerned about him, and I'm like, it's not even my own kid, but I'm like, so I just laugh at how they got rid of so many things, and now they've just built these insane,
that kids could literally like push another kid off.
And it's like a 20-foot drop. I literally don't.
We've transitioned from like traveling carnival style to like now it's Ninja Warrior.
Literally,
you're only able to do it if you've got like
literally
insane upper body strength.
Yeah,
it just makes me chuckle.
Yeah, I don't understand
playgrounds.
But now I know so many more. So if you need any hot tips on playgrounds in the Porto, there's so many I didn't know about.
Baseball fields.
Yeah, we
Sure.
We have like 6 or 7 rotation that we go on, and I discovered so many playgrounds.
Yeah.
Which is good to know. But some are death
Us too. There is one field that has like a spinny thing, and it's like on a pole, and you can sit on the rope and be spun. And how is that better than something close to the ground? So this is like you literally can like hold on to the rope up in the air and be spun
and then fly off.
Like it's like a ropes course around a pole that spins, and the kids are like swinging off of it. And I'm like, how is this better?
than the...
Yeah, I don't know. It's...
And all the wood chips.
Yes.
Like wood chips everywhere. And like you can get splinters from those. Like
I like the spongy.
I was going to say, a lot of ours have the spongy floor
no,
now.
ours are wood chips everywhere in Durham.
Cheap. They went cheap.
It's expensive to put those things in.
Yeah.
Like, because you put a coating of like chewed up rubber tires down.
And then you like seal it.
And then you seal it with that whole thing. And apparently...
It's kind of cool.
Because we have that for the playground next door at the daycare. And just the repair was insane when they had to...
No, thank you.
But back in my day, the playground seemed to be significantly better.
Back in my day. So today we have Ashley Livingston here joining us, and she works at our district, Pentecostal Assemblies of Canada, Eastern Ontario District, and we are very excited to have her. She is one of my dear friends for a long time. She's married to one of my friends who I've been friends with since I was 7, so I know her very well, and just excited. She's super smart, the most administrative, organized person there ever was, I am sure. Not afraid of making phone calls. So if you if you are, then this is a rare gem, because I feel like most people are.
What's it like to be a millennial that enjoys using their phone?
You know what? Phone calls and voice memos, guys.
Yeah.
That's where it's at.
Well, voice memos is very millennial, I feel. But yes, the voice call, like making phone calls, is such a rare gift.
It does stress people out.
It is like having a celebrity here.
Stop.
But we would love, Ashley, for you to tell us a bit about yourself and about your position. So I'll probably butcher it if I try to say what you do. So it's better if you just do it.
Yeah. A bit about myself is I am married to Matt, which you had mentioned, and together we have 2 kids. They're ages 4 and 6, and they are wonderful. And we live in the Cobourg area. We're kind of unique, where we live at our cottage for half the year, and then we live at our house for half the year. Who knows why, but we love it. And then I have worked at the Eastern Ontario District and the Nunavut District. Sorry, I should include that to be official here. For 12 years now. So I've been there for 12 years.
Crazy.
I know. Basically, I took that position right when I came.
When you started, Quebec was still a part of it. So
it was before that? No, it wasn't. We were just EOD back when I started. And then we added the N for Nunavut.
Okay.
So Quebec, I actually don't know when that was, but it was before my time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a bit of a window before that. And then my title is Youth Event Facilitator. And what that means is I help facilitate and plan and oversee all of our youth ministry events and conferences and camps. So we do many throughout the year.
For like all of the churches.
All of the churches between Toronto to Ottawa, and the line in Toronto is like Yonge Street before we transition to WOD. So I do that throughout the year. We have many camps in the summertime. We have conferences in the spring. We have leadership conferences in the fall. And then in addition to that, I do provide pastoral care to the youth pastors in that area too.
Yeah. So you're supporting leaders of the next generation.
Yes. Yeah. Our job is to equip, serve, and care for youth pastors serving the next generation.
And like, provide them with opportunities to take their youth to these events that you get so many kids. How many kids were at the Pursue conference?
Yeah, I think our total, because we do 2, one in Ottawa and one in Whitby on the same weekend, so it's crazy. But I think our total was over 1,500 altogether.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it was awesome. It was a really great weekend.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So did you always want to do youth ministry? Tell us like a bit of like
the past,
your
history,
your testimony.
Sure.
Give us your journey. Tell us your story.
Let me take you through my journey.
What's your truth?
In high school.
I didn't even like sorry. As soon as it came into my mouth, I was like, nope.
You want to take it back?
Yeah.
High school, I actually thought and was pretty confident I was going to become a hairstylist, actually, way back in the day. So that's what
you thought you were going to become. You did
Yeah.
become.
So then I did explore that and became a hairstylist. And I did that for a few years. But while I was doing that, I was always heavily involved in serving in youth ministry.
Yeah.
So I was just there as a volunteer. And shout out to adult volunteers who actually, serve and come and sacrifice their time, because I think that's so important.
And Lindsay was in the youth.
Yeah, Lindsay was a co-leader probably at that point, at that stage of the game. But I just remember, I think it was pre-service prayer. I was just in the sanctuary. There was no big aha moment, no big loud music, anything like that. Just praying before one of our services. And I was so just taken back that all of a sudden I felt like audibly, I felt God said, like, I'm calling you to serve in youth ministry, right? And I remember being kind of like, but you always doubt and second guess yourself. But then within like 48 hours, I can't even tell you how many confirmations I had from different things of just like, I kind of, pushed back to God and said, okay, like, I just need you to like, because that's a complete career change, right? Like, it's not even just me coming out of high school, I'm choosing my path. Like, it's a career change. I went to school, I started my career. There was many other moments, I don't need to go through all of them, that kind of confirmed that for me. And then back then I kind of thought, when you're called youth ministry, that just meant traditional, like becoming a youth pastor. So I went to Bible college, started at Summit. I think Z and I were there together at that. Were you there? Yep. See, a lot of our journeys together
for 2
here.
weeks.
I was there for
Summit?
a year.
No.
Oh, you were only there for 2 weeks? Oh my bad.
Like Summit out west?
Yeah.
You went to Summit?
For 2 weeks, I guess. I don't recall that.
He
my goodness.
He missed his mama.
We're gonna need a separate podcast just to explore
to learn Lindsay.
We want Lindsay's
when's
journey.
Lindsay gonna be on the podcast?
Yeah. I was asking about that.
Maybe this afternoon.
That's true. Good point.
Yes. No, it's happening. We'll see.
That's so good. And then ended up finishing my schooling at Masters here in Ontario.
Because of?
I would not say the full reason, but some of my reason would be my boyfriend at the time. He's now my husband. But hey, became my husband, so there was, commitment there.
Oh, totally. Totally worth it.
Right? So worth it. And then I had full intentions on becoming a traditional youth pastor, but then long story short, this opportunity arose to take a position at the Eastern Ontario District Office. It was just a mat leave for a placement. And I said, okay, you know what? Like,
it's only mat leave.
When you're graduating and you don't have a job lined up. And neither did my husband at the time. We're like, God, thank you for opening this door. We're going to take it.
It provided you with a home too.
It came with a home too. We rented a home on the property, and it was such a blessing for us coming out of school. Finances are tight. And then, 9 months in, or even 6 months in, the person who I was kind of filling in for, she just came in one day and said, hey guys, I'm not coming back. And I was like, oh, like, this is very interesting. So then we prayed about it, thought about it, and then decided to stay. And now I'm still here 12 years later. So pretty crazy.
Awesome.
Wow.
Very cool. And you work closely with Jeremy, who was he the youth pastor when you?
Yeah, so that's
when you got the call into ministry.
Yeah, he was the youth pastor.
That's so funny. It's like full circle.
It's very crazy. We never ever imagined that we'd be serving together.
Yeah,
like this.
that's cool. Neat. Yeah, and so he partners more for the explain sort of how you guys balance one another.
Yeah, so I feel like our dynamic has grown and shifted over the years of us serving together a lot. So I would say he really takes the lead on the visionary part of what we're doing, the direction we're going with all our events and things like that. And then I take and run with it and say, okay, like that sounds amazing, and I'll go and I'll run with it. And then we obviously collaborate throughout as we go, but I would take more of the majority of now running with it.
Right.
And then he also, in addition, of course, is providing care and support and resources for all the youth ministries and youth pastors. And then his role has shifted to where his is also really prioritizes leadership health, which is like his calling, his gifting. He's incredible in it.
Yeah, we're probably going to ask Jeremy to come and talk about that with us.
Even, he's just a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that between you and Jeremy, I can get the full lowdown on Lindsay as a teenager.
Jeremy has a lot of stories.
I'm sure we don't need to go into that today. Yeah. For Lindsay's sake, I'll
put him
hold
in the hot
back.
seat this afternoon.
we wanted to quiz you on some of the youths
Are you the
language, the youths of today language,
Yes.
because you do so much. I have heard you use things like "that's fire," because when you spend time with young people and planning very incredible events for them, then you get into that kind of culture, right, into your head. So we want to see how good you are at what you do by doing this quiz.
I'd like to know how many you guys are aware of too, actually. That'd be intriguing.
Okay.
It's going to be
All
real
right.
low.
So Chris can answer too. Okay.
Here we go.
Which of the following is another word for uncool? There's
Okay,
3
hold on.
choices.
Before we go into this,
Yes.
the parallel on this couch right now is someone who regularly works with youth and probably knows what this is versus Grandpa Chris, who is like
Grandpa.
riding off into the
You have
sunset.
children, a grade 2.
Yeah. You have a wife that works in the school system.
In grade
So my
8.
wife-
Yeah.
my-
So
okay.
you might hear some lingo from
I
her.
chaperoned a grade 8 grad trip
Was it just
to
mind-blowing?
Wonderland.
Yeah.
It was like just terrifying. It was literally like scarring. I shared this
so
story. I shared
good.
this story in a previous episode, but I'll tell you the story
Okay.
when we're done recording.
Okay.
And if you want to know what it is, just go back.
Okay. And I feel like
Look-
I need a disclaimer too, though, because you're giving yourself a disclaimer before
Yeah.
this game.
She doesn't work
Because I don't
regularly.
work regularly with youth. I work with the youth pastors who are serving the youth. And then
Right.
I also do run the events that are there. So I do have engagement and interaction with them. So I do pick it up. But
I
I'm
feel
not
like-
like
Again,
with
you
them.
have your
It's
proximity
still way
is
more
way closer.
than-
Just clarifying here.
Way more than me. All right.
All
Here we
right.
go.
Which of the following is another word for uncool? Skirt, chuggy, or bet? Am I saying chuggy right?
I want to say skirt because I think that is good.
Wait, is skirt a word or a
think
sound? Because in
uncool.
my brain, I'm thinking
Uncool.
skirt. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm not saying
I would
Right.
say chuggy. I actually don't know. I have to click an answer.
I don't know. Skirt is yelled a lot in modern rap songs, so I can't think it's uncool. So I'm gonna go chuggy.
What did you
I
say?
said skirt just because I know bet is like a good.
Yeah,
bet
I'm
is
gonna.
supposed to be good.
It was chuggy.
Okay. See?
Chuggy.
One for you.
All
My
right.
competitive nature.
If something slaps, it is. I
Yes, I
think
do
we
know.
all know
Yeah,
this
I
one.
feel like we need to.
Excellent or amazing, surprising or scary, beautiful or handsome.
Excellent, I would say.
Yeah.
I feel like that's
Number
Yeah,
one.
that's what I
Excellent
think
or
it is
amazing.
too. That's right. What does snatched mean? Stolen, fierce or on point, or exhausted? I honestly don't know.
That's not.
What was
okay,
the middle
so
two options? Sorry.
Okay, so stolen,
Yeah.
fierce or on point,
It's
and exhausted.
Oh,
It's fierce or on
fierce
point.
or on point.
and
Snatched.
Yeah.
And
you're
even-
s- you
Yes,
look
you guys are
snatched,
right.
and even now that's probably changed
Yeah.
since that, because here's how I know. Because my wife follows a bunch of women's fitness trainers, and the big thing is you want to get snatched, which is like
Yeah. So now that's millennials have taken it over.
yeah, which is like a skinny waist
Yes,
and like
I get
really
it.
big worked out legs,
Yeah.
right?
And you want your
Interesting.
like toned arms. I get it.
Yeah, and so
Working on it.
Okay, which of the following means a look or style that is extremely fashionable or sexy? Bussin'.
wait, are we allowed to say
I don't know.
The regret in your eyes as it came out. You're like,
Sorry, guys. Sorry. This is PG.
Well, this is in the context of marriage. Let's just say it like that. We're talking about in the context of our marriages. Yeah.
oh my gosh.
I have a knot in my shoulder, and when I laugh, like
Oh,
it tenses right there. Ooh. Okay. Bussin', bet, or drip.
It's got to be drip.
No, but then that's so like 90s. I feel like check out my drips.
I think like bet or drip, but
It's drip. So that word came back then.
I don't
yes, drip. Yeah.
Okay, what does
I'm
no
shooting in the
cap
dark.
mean? No lie for
This-
real, chill or without stress, or not cool?
I know this one. It's no lie for real.
Yeah, no lie for real.
I know that one too. Which of the following words is an insult for men? I don't know if this is good. Who's gonna go for this?
Oh god.
Do we pre-read this?
Vibing, simp, or okay boomer? I don't know.
It's not okay, boomer. It's not vibing, so it has to be simp.
Is the insult
It
for
is.
men?
I don't even know what it is.
What does it mean? Does it give us the
Yeah,
explanation
go with
here?
simp. I think. You think you should go with simp now that I've read the rest of the question?
Oh, that doesn't even tell you? It doesn't even tell you what it means. Oh,
Yes, it does,
just
but
an
I
insult.
didn't
Oh.
read it.
Yeah,
too
just-
submissive to a
No,
woman.
you're
Oh my gosh, I'm dying. What does hits different mean? Weird or unusual, confusing or nonsensical, has a marked effect or influence.
The last. I think it's the last.
Yeah,
I don't
the
know.
last
It
or
could
the
be.
first?
It could.
Hits different.
That hits different.
That
I
hits
think
different. It's like that's yeah.
It's the last one.
I don't know.
Has a
Is it?
marked effect or influence.
Okay.
All right. Which of the following means I've got the point? Low key, say less, cap.
Say less.
Yeah, say less. But can you imagine saying that to an adult?
Say less.
say
I know.
less.
Say less.
Like, I know, I got the point. Say
That's
less.
so rude. It would come across so
a
rude.
senior
to an
senior
adult.
citizen comes up to
Like,
you
say less.
and they're like, "Oh, I just want to talk to you about it." Say less.
Yeah.
I think
mean.
the only way you could maybe do it is if they were like asking you to do a favor and you're like, say less.
Yes,
I got it.
totally,
Like, you know, like
yeah.
that would be like, I'm trying to think of the only way you
Yeah.
could be like, maybe, but I'm probably saying it wrong. That's the only
Probably.
me just trying to make it sound better.
What does bet mean? Cool or I'm down? No lie or not cool?
No, I think it's no lie. But I could
It's
be.
cool. I think it's cooler. I'm down.
It is cool or I'm down.
See, you're doing great, Grandpa.
Great grandpa.
Yeah.
Which of the following
Roasted.
means relaxing or taping into good feelings? Tapping. Taping.
Which following?
Tapping into good feelings. Bussin', vibing, or snatched.
I think it's
Vibing.
vibing,
Yeah.
in my
I
opinion,
think
but maybe
it's-
that's too old.
No,
Okay.
that's right. That's it. We got 8 out of 10.
Wow, we're great.
Yeah.
We're in
I don't
touch.
feel so-
We're in touch.
I don't know if this qualifies.
I
as
couldn't,
in touch.
and I couldn't use it in like language.
No,
Like
no.
if someone said it to me, I'd have to think about it. Okay, that's what it means. Like say less. Excuse me, and then I'd be like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, that's okay.
Well, now we're prepared for the summer. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Right? We're ready.
In case I run into a teenager, I'm now prepared to.
Well,
To
we
do
have
it.
camps.
I meant like us. I can't.
don't.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I don't have camps.
Junior high camp is in
Next weekend.
a week.
Yeah.
A week tomorrow, and then youth camp is in August, and you have a couple more out in Ottawa, and
So you just you pack up and go to every single one?
So traditionally, yes, but this year we've added a 5th, which is incredible. It's a mixed one at Ottawa Valley because our numbers are so high
mixed junior high and
there.
youth.
And yeah,
Okay.
junior high and youth combined. So I will be at that one, but I'm only going to go to 4 out of the 5 this year, not go to all 5.
Only 4.
Only
And they're
only 4.
Are they all weekends?
They're all Thursday to
Yeah.
Sunday, and then we go Wednesdays when we go to Ottawa Valley.
So she gets a lot of blue days
Yeah, I'd
that
hope
she
so.
takes in December.
I'd say
I
I
hope so.
also go MIA, and so does Jeremy. We go MIA at the end of the summer, like
Yeah.
the last 2 weeks of August.
Yeah.
We just disappear. That's
Yeah.
how I think we.
But really,
function
she's
and
just at our
survive.
cottage. She's
Yes.
going to disappear.
I just lay low.
Yeah.
Just lay
Turn off the
low.
phone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. We did talk about that recently.
So you mentioned before that you felt like it was ministry, but you didn't anticipate this position. I know for a lot of pastors, when I say we because I started out thinking, oh, all I ever want to do is youth ministry,
Totally.
and because that is the age bracket you can correlate with, you can identify,
Yeah.
And then you get into it, and you're like, oh, this is passing me by. I'll give you an example. When I was youth pastoring in Milton, when I left that position, I was 25. And even at that point, I was like, might be too old for this. Like it just,
Yeah,
it scoots by
100%.
you so quickly. And then it's like, the classic, I feel the Lord is directing me to
Something else.
to do something else or whatever.
Yeah.
In the 12 years that, you've been working with youth, do you still feel, and maybe it's because of the type of role that you have, do you still feel like, this is my call, and how do you prevent yourself from even burning out, within that capacity? Because I know there's a lot of youth pastors who will go through rough seasons of dealing with crazy things in their youth ministry or high expectations from leaders above them. And it's a lot of times impossible to meet the expectations you even place on yourself coming fresh out of Bible college and into just, I'm going to change the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to see every teenager saved. And then we're like, oh, wait a minute. These kids are deeply influenced by the world, and they're seeing how their parents live their lives that in a kind of bipolar Christian way, and you're combating all of that. So this is a really huge question that I'm asking here.
Yeah, I feel like there's
I know, I was gonna be like,
there's
can we
probably
just-
I'm
like
going to double back. So I'll double back.
Yeah, there's
Also-
6 questions.
Right.
There.
So how coming out and going to ministry, do you still feel now like, yeah, youth is where I want to camp out because of the style of ministry, or do you see yourself at some point? I'm not trying to out you in your career.
No, it's fine.
But do you see
Here's
yourself?
my plan.
Yeah.
I'm retiring actually.
No, but do you see like a natural transition?
100%.
Because like we just played that game. It's really hard for me to stay on top of trends and things like that, and it's a lot of pressure to connect with teenagers.
Honestly, and I think the only reason we know the answers to those is because of reels
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Reels are,
so
I do try to
good.
conversate with the youth at church.
Yes,
Like
you
I'm
do.
not,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
trying to, I don't literally
Yeah,
just
you're not
avoid
like
them.
completely avoiding.
Yeah.
I'm an associate.
No,
now.
there's
I
some
don't
good
need to
ones.
talk to.
This is beneath me.
No, yeah, it's a good question, and I think it's something that I continue to like. You kind of review that over
Yeah,
and over
for
again,
sure.
right? Like it's 12 years in, you never really know how many years you're going to be in a position for, and
Yeah.
how long God's going to call you to be that place for that time. And I think 12 years actually now, you don't realize it because it actually went by in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
But for some people, that they realize and looks at it like that's a very long time to serve in one ministry location, right? So I definitely would, like, being honest, I definitely still kind of say to God, I just pray like, hey God, like, if you want me here, I stay. If you're calling me elsewhere, then let me know, right?
Yeah.
And I do pray that, not every day, but every so often I just kind of check in and say, God, like, I'm still here. And so far, I haven't felt a calling elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm being honest, I haven't. And so I said, okay, God, if that's what you're saying, because I know you would let me know if you're calling me elsewhere, then I will continue to serve you faithfully in what I'm doing. Now, in the sense of combating that, maybe even self-doubt or questioning your relevancy and things like that, I think that's a reality. Like, I am older than I was when I started. And I think that's just facts, and there's not much to do about that. But I also think there's a beautiful part of being consistent and staying along,
Yeah.
and then you actually grow in your excellence, right? Especially if you have the attitude that I don't know everything I'm doing. Yes, I've done this a lot, and people might say to me, wow, you're so good at this, right? And it's so kind of them to do that, and I'm like, thank you, but I am forever learning, right?
Yeah.
After every single conference, convention, what we do, we sit down and we review, and we say, this went well, but this area, and I am hard on myself, and I say I want to improve this, I want to do this, and because I want to serve our churches with excellence, right? So there's always that time that I'm always continuing to learn and grow deeper in what I'm doing, reading books, researching things online, keeping up with what's happening in the world. Even social media helps me in my role of just, okay, what's current, like social media wise. Like, there's so much I've developed in just the last couple of years social media wise that we didn't tap in many years ago. And I'm like, I can't believe we have full on social media plans that we have for every single conference that we do, every single camp, like so much engagement there that I'm like, wow, I can't believe we missed this. But again, we're forever learning and growing, right? And then the other thing actually that we kind of do now that, again, I laugh at myself that I didn't tap into this sooner, but we always live and we learn and we grow, is bringing in summer students and people like that. And so we intentionally are hiring people that can help us to stay in touch with this next generation too, right? So I have some amazing summer students here with me this season. I love them dearly, all of them. They're A, just incredible workers, but B, they have a heart for the next generation. Like, we're not just hiring someone because they're administrative. We're hiring them. We do our research. Like, we want to know, like, they serve faithfully in their churches. Yeah, great. Like, they're serving a next gen ministry. Yes. Okay. This is what their heart is. Yeah, that's great. So we're hiring them intentionally. And then I'm not too cool to listen to them. Like, I want to hear what they're saying. I want their insights, and I'm just like, and they're, helping me be cooler one day at a time. Like, I'm like, you guys are so great. Like, you're helping me to learn.
Yeah.
We laugh about it, our differences. But it's not all me, right? I have to lean on those people to help me with that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I would say in that realm of that part A of your question.
Okay,
No, that's really, and I
want to follow up on something she said. But if you got something.
But that attitude of knowing that you don't know everything is, I think, the biggest part of reaching the next generation is being willing to hear them,
100%.
listen to them, learn from them, and admit, like, hey, we need to change.
100%.
I can't do the same thing every year. I have to evolve with the changing generations. 12 years, you have now been a part of reaching Gen Z and now Gen Alpha. Like
and it's changed. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's part of what I wanted to ask, is that in the 12 years now, what have you seen amongst the young people that is a constant and that has changed? So if, what are you seeing that is continually, whether it's how you're ministering to them or what is drawing them into youth ministry and staying connected versus, so what are the constants in that, and what are the things that are continually evolving? Like, I know language alone is continually evolving and stuff like that, but from the outside looking in, it seems, and maybe this will be a direction to send you, it seems like there's a hunt for authenticity amongst this current generation.
100%.
Unlike maybe my generation or those who followed right after, where it was very much about how glitz and glam can we be, and can we throw the craziest events and stuff like that.
The weirdest youth games.
And so there was this thing of we need to be polished, whereas it seems to me now, again from the outside looking in, because I'm not hands on, it seems they're hunting more for an authentic experience, and they're not finding that in a lot of churches because some of the leadership is still wanting to keep things polished. Yeah.
No, I'd say like you're kind of, right on that point where it's more, they want relationship over structure even, right? They don't need to have like, song, this, that, this. Yeah. Now, again, when we're running our major events, there's going to be structure. We're going to make sure everything's done intentionally, but we also are so determined and very intentional that, we make room for altar time and those authentic moments where they can have experiences, because their experiences are what's going to hold them in their faith, not the structured game moment, things like that. Yes, that's an awesome element to it, but they're looking for authentic encounters with God, right? And that's the thing. So I think over the last couple, generations coming through here, right? Like over the last 10, 12, 15 years, let's say, I think, and how do I say this? I think some churches have caught on. I don't know if all have caught on to this. I think there's some room for growth where moving away from programming, right, to more ministry related moments and being more intentional. Not saying that games are not okay. Like that's fun, and youth ministry is so important, right? That's builds relationship, that builds connection. But I just think that students are looking for authentic encounters, and that's the reality of this generation. They're open to searching elsewhere too. They're not, like they're open to spiritual encounters. That's what's so different about them too, is that they're exploring more things that I didn't even know existed, right? Because they're hearing all about it, all those things. So I just think that we're missing the mark if we're not creating opportunities for that
for the spiritual.
They need it.
I love the way you kind of boiled that down just to that phrase. It was they're craving relationship over structure. And while that is what they're doing, I see an inherent problem if we don't find the balanced approach 100%. To that. Because immediately my mind went to, like this generation, it abhors structure. They don't want structure. They don't want to adhere to that. And that is a part of their rejection of organized religion, to which I say, would you prefer unorganized religion?
And they say, yeah.
No, but here's the thing.
Literally.
Yeah. If all you ever want is those crazy relationship moments, then you will live and die on the high of those mountaintops where true discipleship happens within discipline, structure and discipline.
Yeah, we've talked about, like on the podcast, we've talked about discipline over and over, and how our millennials have lost that, but the generations after even more so, right? It's just like that swing away from discipline, and that's what I feel you see in social media is what our world is craving, but they don't know how to do it because everything comes so easy now, right? So then we just have no backbone to push through for discipline. So we see it as like this, like, oh, this could change my life if I was just disciplined in prayer or disciplined in 100%. Reading my Bible or disciplined in working out or disciplined in eating well. Like, you know what I mean? It's now like this like unachievable goal.
Far-fetched idea now, which is so funny.
But it's at the same time, it's like, nah, just kind of start doing it.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
But
they want to get to the results without the process.
Yes, the work.
Yeah, they don't want to do the work. They don't want the process. And I'm not, again, if you're listening and you're like, that's not me. Well, we're talking broad strokes here. We're not like everybody is
there's
different.
always an exception, and some people are disciplined.
And so
good for you.
and so that being said, you kind of talked about how you're looking for summer students and feeding off of them. My next question would be, me being of the millennial and feeling like a Gen Xer in the way that I think, my markers for my expectations for like a good worker or someone like that, I have them very internalized in my head. You approaching students.
And externalized to us.
Yes, I will externalize to people. But when I feel like when it's dealing with this other generation, we might need to set different markers for what a good worker and someone who's engaged. So when you said you're looking for particular things when you're hiring students, when you look at this generation, what are the markings of someone who you think is successful or really thriving with the relationship with the Lord? What does that look like with this generation? Because I don't seem to be able to readily identify what is a win and what is a loss.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I'm just trying to think about like some of the questions we use in our interviews. Like that's going to help me kind of when we're trying to nail down who we're going to intentionally hire. Like these are kind of things. And now I can't take all the credit for this. Jeremy, again, is a man of wisdom. And so I gleaned so much from him.
But he chose you to be number 2. So there you go. Like
no, she was number 2 before he came.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
I was there
he's
before
lucky
him.
He inherited you. He's lucky. I don't know. However you want to look at it.
He kept you.
Yeah, we went in this together.
And Jeremy, we welcome you onto the podcast to refute anything that she's saying right now.
So, I'm just trying to think of some of the major markers for us that we're talking about. And we ask them in really, particular ways that we kind of create opportunity for them to expand on it, obviously. But it's like we want to know if they have initiative, because I feel in this next generation, that's a key one. So we're really trying to figure out and navigate in a creative way without them knowing, where are they picking up initiative? What happens when no one's around to give them the calls of what to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to be readily waiting for the next job, or they can kind of jump on it and think, okay, yeah, I haven't heard back from this person. Self-starter, like so big, right?
Oh man, that's okay. We're about to crawl into like the den of a lot of my irritation right now. We're going to take a nap in this den. Like I can feel it coming. All right, here we go.
Oh, it's so good. And then the other thing, I think maybe even just your, the spiritual, like, tempo of someone and where they're at. Again, it's hard to know anyone's personal walk with Christ, but I think some markers are like, as I said, like, are they actually heavily involved in serving in their local youth ministries or whatever the context is, right? Do they love the local church? Are they are they invested? What does that look like, right? And then, we do ask them for their testimony, show us, kind of bring us to how you got to where we are, and things like that. And I'm just trying to think of some of the other ones we do. But I would say initiative, and then are they actually serving? And then we obviously do your references and follow up on those things like that. But we have some other obviously important questions. But I would say those are kind of my majors. And you've had success. I can attest. Like I was like, we have Gen Alphas and they're only Gen Alphas. They're Gen Alphas, and they're wonderful, like lovely, and so great and so helpful. Yeah, I do see a difference between Gen Alpha and Gen Z, in the initiation part. Yeah, Gen
like the self-starting.
Yes, I feel like Gen Alpha is more willing to serve.
That's positive.
Yeah,
that's good.
But like, I don't mean that negatively
to that Gen Z.
Gen Zs.
But if you're listening, Gen Z, take it in. No, but it's true, and I always think my mind goes to, what is the root of this?
Yes.
Like, why is this happening? And so obviously, discipleship en masse starts in the home.
Yes.
You're discipling
100%.
You are actively discipling your kids either for the better or for the worse based on the way you parent. And I wonder if...
Sorry, kids.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah. And I wonder if, you can see maybe some of the ill effects of, the lawnmower parenting starting to, which is different from helicopter. So helicopter was like,
yes,
drop down in, fix a problem, pull back out. Lawnmower is mow down every obstacle in front of your children so that they never experience any hardship, heartache, ever have to muscle through anything or just suck it up. And suck it up and deal with it. Like, how dare you tell me
you can't say that anymore.
You can't, because I have healthy boundaries that I have to keep in my life. And we talked recently with Dr. Daniel Jeffrey about boundaries and how they can be extremely beneficial, but they can also be weaponized. Yeah. And it seems to me that Gen Z has mastered the art of weaponizing boundaries. But on the flip side is they've really brought it to the forefront to where we're actually analyzing what is a good boundary and what is a bad boundary. So 100%. I want to give them credit where credit's due, because they've really pushed the needle on let's get into the more authentic spaces. Yeah.
And have space from things.
Yeah, there are healthy things that have come out of that. But I agree with you. And I think, credit's due to them. We're helped kind of bring that to the light and
the problems that we had. Yeah.
Totally. But I also think there's room for finding balance. And I don't know if I have that exact answer. I think it's also situational. I think it all depends on what it is. But I do find, let's say, the boomer to the Gen X or whatever it is, Gen Z, excuse me. Boomers might be, way too on the other side of the spectrum where they don't have boundaries. They're checking their email anytime, every night. They walk away from family dinner to, take a call, right? Like, and so, there could be some room for putting some boundaries in there. But, a Gen Z where they're like, this is my day off. And I and yes, don't get me wrong. I do value my days off. And I do protect them too, right? Like, but there could be some room for, unsafe. Where it's like.
You interrupted me on my day off. I am unsafe. Like, no, that's not how this works.
There could just be a room for balance. And I don't know how to find that. Hopefully our generations can find a way to figure this out, to learn from each other,
work
right?
Together.
Work together. And I definitely don't have the answers in that.
And as Christians who are millennials, and as Christians who are boomers, and as Christians who are now we're considered as millennials like the older generation.
So true. We honestly
which is crazy.
Guys, things that were big when we were teenagers are now big again. That's how short that cycle was.
But I remember being young and feeling like the older generation of the church doesn't get me, doesn't understand. They don't want us here. Yeah. They always complain about when we do anything, we're doing it wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And so I want to be very self-aware and encourage other people who are millennials and boomers and Gen X and whatever, that we need grace.
100%.
So even though it frustrates us to no end, the maybe lack of reliability from some of the younger generation, we need to see the good they've brought, which is a ton, like authenticity, and feed into that, right? Yeah. Like call out the good and recognize the good and partner with the good so that we can then come together and have balance, right?
Yeah. Even you think about it, we were all young. And our brains are not even developed. Their brains are not even fully developed. So they're going to and we all made silly decisions and did really ridiculous things or said things that, no matter what our generation was. When we were a teenager, you just did. You see, it's a crazy, challenging season of life. It's awkward. There's changes developmentally, physically, mentally, all those things, right? But they're a generation that matters, right? And we have to put them at the forefront of our churches or else our churches are not going to grow, right? That has to be one of our top priorities. And yes, it's messy. They're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I don't know why we can't admit that, but we all make mistakes, right? Boomers, Gen Xers, all of us, right? But we have to find a way to prioritize our youth ministry, our next gen, not even just youth ministry, our next gens. And it might get messy. It might not look as pristine and polished on our Sunday mornings or whatever we're doing, but it's such a value and a necessity for our churches.
Yeah. And this is where the missing millennial generation from a lot of the church, this is the byproduct of us not enveloping the next generation into that stuff and inviting the mess.
100%.
Because you create this huge gap because you're waiting for perfection to evolve from teenagers that
who are
young
not.
adults or whatever.
They're
Yeah.
incapable of
They're
it.
not.
And just so you know, if you're the generation that's leading the church, you're the generation that's supposed to be bringing them along and
Held
helping
responsible.
helping them mature, all of this stuff, because teenagers and young adults will always think that they've got the world by the tail. It's
100%.
just, it's the way it is. They know what's going on.
We all did.
Yeah.
All of us. Like,
I know best.
Yeah.
Will Smith with the famous song "Parents Just Don't Understand," right? And it's because we think we know, and to your point, you know, teenagers, junior highs, young adults, give us grace. We need it, but at the same time, we've been giving you grace since you were in diapers. So let's relax for a moment, right? Like, we want an undivided church. We don't want it to be the next generation church versus the current church versus the age-old adage, the church of tomorrow. Well, no, they're the church of today.
Yeah.
And we got to stop thinking of it like that, because, and I love what the Bible College has started to do, even though there's different ways I would think of doing things, but this idea of locally grown people, you recognize this person has the call of God in their life, so we're going to support them. Let's create a hub, and we do it in-house. That is how church leadership and development should be, even outside of a Bible college application. Like, recognize people's giftings, recognize that 100%. Next generation, plug them in, and give them room to make mistakes. Don't come down hard on them when they screw up. Like, you know, don't micromanage.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at some of the conversations between Paul and Timothy, like within the New Testament, like, create space for them to explore and fail forward, you know, that, you know, just all these different things. And so I'm hopeful that even though the pendulum is swung a little bit extreme to the one side, that it's not on a ramping up, it's on like a slow settle to the middle. And it's good to hear that, at least in our district, that we have leadership when it comes to youth ministry that sees, that understands, that is even encouraging other youth pastors, because it's
can be the voice that we have people who will be the voice,
because youth ministry, like, it's kind of lonely.
It can be. It totally can be.
It can be very lonely if you're not really connected to like a network of other people going through what you're going through. Like, it's like, it can be absolutely
lonely, heavy.
Absolutely. Like, I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast, but like, my first ministry position I went into after the youth pastor had an affair. And the summer before I got there, one of the students' fathers had a heart attack in a lake while swimming and drowned, and the junior high couldn't keep him up. To, you know,
just, oh my gosh.
So I walk in, and it's like,
heavy.
This is what you're dealing with, and the whole youth ministry, the vibe was, we suck. Man. And it's like, what do you do with that? How do you slowly turn that around? I'm not married at the time. Like, it was just a grind. That's and so
a lot for your first position. Holy cow.
Yeah.
And that's why he left ministry for a while.
No, Mark Caldwell was Western Ontario, and he was constantly checking in with me.
I'm sure he was.
Constantly checking in with me. But it can be lonely. And so for parents out there, like, support your youth pastor. And if you attend our church, support Lindsay, support Justine, who is also supporting Lindsay and supporting the youth ministry. And you know, be a enabler and a tool to the youth pastor, as opposed to someone who is just getting a service from them. And I think that has been the free babysitting kind of deal, has been a huge concept within the church for like a Wednesday night youth or stuff like that. And I'm hoping that's shifting.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not the youth pastor's sole responsibility for your child's faith journey, right?
No,
like, it's not. They're just a part of that discipleship plan. Like, as we all know, right? Us as the parents, again, obviously it depends on who the student is in their home life and what that looks like, right? But if it's a Christian family, like, the youth pastor is a bonus, right? That's a wonderful thing, but it's our ownership of our own, like, faith in what we're doing to guide our children. And then hopefully our youth ministry is supporting that and helping them walk deeper in their discipleship journey. But it's definitely not a babysitting service. I would debate that very highly, right? Like if anyone ever felt that way, right? It's something to be so much more intentional about, man. Yeah.
Well, there's 166 hours remaining in the week after the youth pastor's been with them for 2 hours. So it's like, parents, like, come on. Like, really what it is, and this, I've said it like this, and it's not always like this, and I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, but a lot of times the youth pastor has 2 hours to undo what the other 166 has been done by either the family, the school, the culture, whatever.
And that's why you need experiences with God.
It's an uphill battle,
that
for real.
You can't. That doesn't.
Yeah, like God can do a lot more than that youth pastor.
Yeah, games are great, but the presence of the Lord is life changing.
Yeah, that was always 100%. A frustration of mine in youth group. Is that it felt like we just played games the whole time. And never like
you wanted more
talked or
100%. You want to go deeper.
So what would you say as the local church? How do we reach youth? Like, what are some tips, or like you've had lots of experience working with youth pastors and running events. Obviously, like you're not saying run an event, but like you said, authenticity is important. But like, can you give any context to like how even parents reach their youth?
Well, again, I think like going back to the basics, I think for churches, right? Like if you find your youth ministry, there is literally no youth ministry, right? Depending on the size of your church, what it looks like, right? There's in our Eastern Ontario district, like it's such a diverse spectrum, right? You've got inner city churches that have teams of 30 people, right? Then you have a rural church that has 20 people in attendance and one pastor on site, right? Like it's just such a, so like there's no one cut and dry answer, but I think what does go across the board is like your vision for your church, your mission statement for church. Like, so going back to like the drawing board of that, it's like, okay, because churches, there's a lot of good things that can happen in church. I'm not doubting that there's not good things happening but you can be pulled in so many directions, right? So I know Jeremy and I are really focused, and we really try to encourage people to go back to the mission's vision statement. Just be so intentional there. Start with that. What are the church's priorities here, right? And if youth and next gen is not on it, then you probably need to go back and reevaluate it, right? Because
and your congregation's like diversity will reflect that.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be able to tell. You could probably go to a Sunday morning and be like, "Okay, I probably don't have next gen ministry as a priority. If there's no kids, whatever." And I understand logistics are hard. I understand, but again, that's where I'm saying like go back to the drawing board, because if it's not a priority, you're probably being pulled in many directions. You say, "I don't have time for this." It's like, okay, well, what's taking up that time? There's obviously other things. Whatever you're giving time to is becoming your priority. So is that what you want to be your sole focus, or can we rearrange things like that? Right. So I think that's just super, super important. And I want to say, like, I do know, like, there are lead pastors who are in rural churches, and like even just this past Pursue, that they showed up with a group of 15 to 20 students, and it's the lead pastor coming with his wife, sacrificing their weekend.
How much like memory for those youth, 100%. Right? That their lead pastor was willing to 100%. Come 100%.
I had at least 2 or 3 of them that were doing that, and talk about not feeling relevant anymore, or feeling out of the loop, right? And you're showing up with a whole bunch of Gen Zs, like, and you don't know what's going on, and it's loud, and you're just
totally. I think that's part of what they like. Any kid wants is that for boomers and even a little bit millennials is like, it was the perfection thing, right? You felt like you needed to be perfect for the youth and cool for the and relevant, but really you can just be you
and just show that you care
weird
about them.
Boomer, and if you care, they're happy. 100%. If you invest time in them, they're happy. Like, 100%. What does a kid always write on those Mother's Day, Father's Day things for their favorite thing? You play with me. Yeah. Like, you know 100%. What I mean? Like,
you just spend time with me.
Spend time with me. And that goes for youth and kids. Yeah. And I think for the local church, I think what you said at the beginning is that you were an adult who helped out in youth ministry, and you made like a little shout out at the beginning. You're like,
100%.
adults, you need to invest. And maybe you don't have like youth right now, like in your home, but you are an adult. Like my parents always like were helping in youth ministry, like back in the day. And it's when adults are interested, like I think we think youth want everything to be cool, right? And when adults are interested in spending time with youth, like junior highs, they recognize it and they think that's awesome. Even if you're like not cool, they still think it's awesome that you want to spend time with them. You want to tell them about God. Like you want to invest in them.
Ask them
pray
about their
with
day.
them.
You know, like what you said, right? Like, yes, your technical position doesn't involve interactions, let's say, with the younger next generation, let's just say. But like the fact that you take those times to intentionally suddenly just say, hey, you know, Joe,
how's it going?
How was school? Can you believe it's last week? It's like, oh, they actually are aware of what's happening in my life. It's the last week of school. Like I'm here, I exist, whatever. And so just having people, so you could be a senior, you could be, a millennial, you could be anything like that. And just being intentional to make space for students and actually show them that you see them. I also think if you do have some students in next gen year church and you're trying to figure out, like bring them into it. Like bring them into the planning process, like the dream with them. Like, like how do we do this? How can we make this work? We want to reach your friends. Like what, let's do it together. It's not my job to bring your friends in, right? Like it's your, like, so let's come together and do this too. And I think that speaks volumes to do because they have a voice, they have ideas, they have visions, and it's probably going to look different than we ever imagined to do. So I think if you do have at least a couple students in your church, like connect with them, don't put them on a spot that they need to make up a full like 40-point plan, but like bring them in and say, hey, like we want to make sure youth is a priority in our church.
Something is better than nothing. Yeah.
My dad serves in Tweed Church. He's been there for 17 years. And now I tell you, it ebbs and flows, seasons of ministry and things like that. But he's just the guy, like, just blows my mind that they all of a sudden have seen a boom again and they are valuing and they're looking for someone to do youth ministry. And it is in the tiniest little town in the middle of nowhere. And they're still trying to invest. And I think it's so beautiful. And I'm like, wow, like good on you. Right. And I even came there at one time because we don't get there very often. Right. Tweet's pretty far. And I was fully prepared, even with my kids, right? I'm like, I brought stuff for them to do because I figured they'd just be in church. I show up, they have a Sunday morning school, like a Sunday school program. I'm like, what? Like, I was so shocked. I just didn't expect it. So you don't have to be a big fancy budget or anything like that. You just have some willing people just to, and it does not be fancy. And my kids had a great time down there. I know that was the kids ministry, but they had a great time. They learned. So it doesn't have to be fancy. It just, if you have any sort of calling or just realizing, a heart for the next gen, like it's possible.
I think you could literally do anything. The one thing you can't do is be fake.
100%.
If that's what you're found doing, you've lost the plot with teenagers. They hate that. So you can just lean into the I'm not cool, lean into the but when you try and like be something that you're not, put on a facade, they just run for the hills.
I was going to say, like, hot tip, very practical tip, but just make sure your social media reflects, who you are, hopefully authentically, that you're not acting different in person than on social media, because those kids are going to search you in 2 seconds. And they're going to find out the real you if you're actually posting things or storying up of your activities in the evening, right? Like, I'm just being honest. The first thing they do when they meet you is look you up, right? And so if you are not, be authentic, but just make sure you're being the true self that you're putting forward to them in church, right? Like that's just so important.
They will see that I have not posted in 2 years.
And that's the other thing. Yeah, the millennials might not have too much engagement, but if there is, sometimes I do have to research people if I'm going to have them engaged in, a pursue or a conference. And I sometimes, unfortunately, have to go, no, because I know as soon as I put that person on the stage, students are looking them up on social media, right? So we have to be so intentional.
So do you look for people who are engaged on social media, or just people who are on social media?
It's that they're
fine.
They're not wilding out on social media.
Exactly. They don't have to be on social media. That's not a requirement.
No, Twitter.
But just let's just to make sure, or the posts, that you have, the pictures you choose to post. And
exactly.
Whatever,
totally.
You just have to be so careful, right? And that's the.
Which is funny because then you got like pastors that be posting the craziest things in the States and everybody's like, this is so cool. And I was like, this is questionable.
And so when you have your guest speaker though from the States, you want to make sure 100%. that they're clear.
From your host in your service to your speaker to your worship team. Like you have to
can't
be
take
so
a risk.
intentional. You have to be so intentional.
Because it's true. Like everybody looks everyone up now.
Well, I want to get more involved, so I'm just going to start posting scripture verses.
That's not our... As long as you don't have any shady things, you're great.
No, I think the last 3 posts from 2 years ago, it's a guitar, it's my kids, and I think Ruth are the last 3 posts that I have.
The guitar.
I do, yeah. Oh, he's clearly a material person, so he's got a guitar.
Yeah, he took a picture of a guitar.
He's looking at my Instagram. Okay, here we go.
That's so
Lindsay's
good.
looking at my Instagram.
That's so good.
I think it's Chris. Yeah, there you go.
are.
Oh no, I've got one of the things. There you go.
That's
Look
a
at
really
that.
fancy guitar. Oh, you work out. That's
do
good
work
to know.
out. There
You
you go.
had a motorcycle. You don't ride it anymore.
No, I still have 2.
I know, but you just don't ride them anymore. You eat good food.
I enjoy Jeff Goldblum's Christmas album. Oh, it's wonderful.
I don't think I've ever listened to that.
That's super random.
It's super jazzy and fun.
Yeah, your Instagram is very like millennial.
Like millennial
It's
2010.
just so sporadic and like.
It is very 2010.
Oh, that's so good. Oh.
All right, we don't.
Yeah.
You see the steam,
Yes.
or not steam?
Yes.
Steam.
I was in a cold, like middle of December, February.
That's so
Working out.
good.
Anyway,
So good.
Yeah, she wouldn't have
enough
you
of this.
because of that.
Enough of this Insta shaming. Let's move on. I'm not cool. I've never pretended to be cool.
Okay, but all I'm saying though, that's the other
People
point.
have ascribed cool to me, but
Oh,
I've never.
gosh. Throwing
you're
up.
fine. Oh my gosh. That's what I was saying is social media though is the other part where even just engaging with students, like they want to see you in person, but they also, I think, value in seeing that relationship side through social media that you see them and their engagement on there too, right?
Yeah.
Like I think they actually really
You mean
value.
when they post and then delete it all the time?
Or yeah, exactly. And then you see them in person and say like, hey, I saw that. They're like, oh wow. I also think that also
You care.
holds accountability to them too. Also, if I'm going to be honest, on the other side of the spectrum.
No, but remembering
But you
things-
also care. You see that. You're like, oh, I saw it. You did that.
No,
And they might delete it a
Yeah.
second later. But if you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do try to interact with people when I see it. Like when I see people like out doing adventures, like on Maid of the Mist or whatever. It's like, oh, that's cool, whatever. So, sorry, that was a very.
I actually know exactly what
that
is.
was a very intentional drop.
So
Dancing
good.
on Maid of the Mist.
Yeah, move on.
It's so good.
I don't want to get in trouble.
You're walking
dear.
the line.
Yeah. It's a thin line. Yeah. So anything else you would like to share? We're at an hour, but that you feel passionate about that we maybe haven't said.
No, I think we covered a lot of it, but I just think again, like just remembering that this next generation is pretty lost, you know, like they really need some of God, you know, like I was like, God, they just need God.
Yeah.
Right?
Like speaking of social media,
you know,
like they're drowning.
They're
in it.
drowning. And
Yeah.
even just, we didn't get into too many specifics there, but like, you know, social media, like even I feel it, but for them, like information overload, like do they just don't know 2 seconds later it's this 2 seconds, like, you know. And I was just even at the
They're
park.
very anxious.
Yeah, I was at the park the other day. Baseball. I'm always at a park now.
Yeah.
At a playground, and my son was playing, and there was just some, you know, tweens, you could call them, were around me. And I, you know, wasn't eavesdropping, but they literally played. They were just hanging out 2 feet from where my son was. And I just listened, and my heart just broke, right? Just that I would say they're definitely, you know, community kids who had and just the things they were talking about, and just, you know, relationships, like, you know, sexuality, like there's just so much that I like literally just stood there for the 5 minutes I overheard, and I just was like, God, like they need you, and I don't know how that will be or what that will look like, but may you put someone in their lives, right? So if you are someone who's listening to this, or, you know, whatever that is, you know, have some sort of tinge, just even not you feel called to youth ministry or anything, like, but you just have a heart, you know, your heart breaks for the next generation, like just don't just take that and think about it for a day and then move on. Like try to find a way, either speak to the leadership team, or just put yourself out there, or just start connecting with the next generation. Start building a relation on a Sunday morning. You know, just say hello to them. How was your week?
Or your neighbor.
Your neighbor. Oh, that's a whole other ballgame.
Yeah.
Neighbors are very important to
Yes.
me.
So like,
are very important to me.
Maybe you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I can't get over how annoying I find this next generation.
100%.
Pray that God would change your heart.
100%.
Pray that God would break your heart for them, and that you would start to be revealed to the things they're going through. Because us as adults going through difficult things is one thing, right? Our minds are like,
can process things
our
a little
hormones
here.
are regular, hopefully. And, but you know what I mean? Like
100%.
when you're a teenager, I remember thinking this is life. These next 4 years are it. 100%. Like this is it,
This is
right?
It all rides on this.
It rides on that. I'll make or break the rest of my life in these next 4 years. And so it sounds dramatic, but that is what it is. It is dramatic, and their minds can't process things the same. And they're, like you said, inundated with all of the things, all of the things. And so we need a heart for this next generation. 100%. We need a heart to pray for them, pray for a heart for them, and reach them. Yep. If you live next door to a teenager and you see them every day, start being kind to them.
Start talking to them. Say hello, good morning. Just acknowledge their presence.
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, I got you a bag of candy. Like,
it's nice.
You're mowing a lawn. Here's a popsicle.
Here's
like,
Coke, fresh Coke,
whatever,
fresh, cold Coke.
Yeah.
And that's to say, like, I could have easily rolled my eyes, if I'm going to be honest, at the conversation I overheard. Like, it was just so extreme and so, right? But I think, again, over the years, I have been asking God, like, hey, check my heart, remind me, yes, this is on the one, so ridiculous what they're saying, right? And it's so easy for, an older person to roll their eyes and walk away. This generation, they don't, right? Like, it's so easy, but it's like, pause. Maybe you did roll your eyes, but pause now and say, okay, God, like, what do you want me to see out of this? Like, break my heart for this situation. Show me what I'm missing here. Like, how do I reach them, right? Because it is so easy to move on with our day and just, whatever, but just kind of being brought back to, we need this next generation. They need God, right? For us, our church to continue to grow too, even, right? We need them. Yeah. And they need God.
Yeah, we're not necessarily called to understand or even make super best friends with people. We're called to disciple them.
Yeah.
And so you can't disciple somebody that you're not actively loving. And you don't have to understand people to love them.
Yeah, we've been called to love people.
Yeah. So just do it. Get out of your own way and let Jesus deal with your heart and lean into it.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
That's good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it. I feel older and younger at the same time now. So, but no, I'm super pumped just to hear like the testimony of what's going on within our own district.
How many people are registered for youth camp in August?
Oh, a lot. We still need
so many.
Yes, it's a good problem.
It is a great problem, and to add a camp, because you have so many people coming 100%. In Ottawa.
Yeah, again. This is not
there is a generation that's hungry because they're a generation that's hurting, right? Yeah. So they are seeking and looking for an answer. And I see that even in the millennials, is that they are searching for something spiritual.
They are.
And they're not afraid of it. And if we don't get out there and show them Jesus, then someone else is going to get there and show them something else.
Yeah, distract them with something else. 100%.
Yeah, so that's your challenge this week, is to reach the next generation in love and ask God to open your heart to them. So thank you again, Ashley, for coming. We love you. And thank you for listening. If you want to follow along, you can follow us on Instagram at Squabbling Saints. And you can listen to our podcasts anywhere that there's podcasts playing. And we would love if you would subscribe on YouTube. Even if you don't listen on there, we would really appreciate that for many different reasons. Thank you and have a great day.
Bye.